What is your impression of what happened with Epstein? Was he a blackmailer? Was he tied to Mossad? Was he tied to CIA? Was he an asset? What is your impression?
Okay, so I think, and I'll give you something here that I haven't said publicly, although you may, because I only have it as one source so far. So I can't print it yet because it's not two source. I think that Epstein enmeshed himself in moving money around for some intelligence groups, some, not just one. And he thought that gave him an immunity card, a get-out-jail card. They used him off-shelf sometimes. They can do it on their own. But he had easy access. He had offshore. He had real money. He was able to do it. They occasionally used him for that. I also believe that in all the talk that is currently on, release the Epstein file, let's see what's going on about Mossad, they're looking at the wrong government, for one thing. I have a very good source. I'm waiting for the second source. I get nothing but denials. That a full copy of what the Epstein did at his townhouse in New York was available to British intelligence. And the reason for that is they either hacked into the security firm that was providing the camera feed for the townhouse. They didn't get it from him officially because they wanted to know with Prince Andrew what was going on. They wanted to make sure that nothing was happening that was going to come up as an embarrassment to the royal family. And when Andrew rekindled his friendship with Epstein and went back to the house, somebody in the British government said, we've just got to keep an eye on it. We don't have to do anything. And that hack allowed them to see what was happening in that townhouse where Andrew would often go. I don't know if they still have it, but there was a point at which I'm convinced, from what I understand, that British intelligence had a full copy of everything that was going on in that house. They may have well trashed it since then. And all the talk that I've seen about, oh, people love to talk about Mossad and what about this and that, nobody's ever looked over at the Brits. And when I officially contact them and talk to them, they give a generic denial of everything. So I'm passing that on to you.
There's a big difference between saying the Prime Minister of UK visited him 32 times versus the Prime Minister of Israel visited him at that Lex Wexner property that was gifted to him, the largest private residence in New York, the $77 million property, where Ehud Barak visited him 32 times. And I had Michael Wolff on the podcast, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, Rob, where he has 100 hours of recording with Epstein when he's having a conversation with him at his private residence in New York. And he says, in some cases, Ehud Barak was there, Bill Gates would show up. And I said, was there ever a picture of Bill Clinton on the wall? He said, there was a picture of Bill Clinton on the wall, dressed a picture in a dress, the blue dress, the famous painting that we've seen. Yeah, so it's way too many weird things going on there.
Right, but if you're an intelligence organization, forget the Brits for a second with Andrew. If you're in the Mossad or the U.S.,
CIA,
I even know that early on there were a couple of oligarchs that were hanging around Epstein. You don't think the Russians have an interest in knowing what's happening? So they were all floating around. I think that Epstein believed that that made him safe, that even if one soured on him, another wouldn't sour on him.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree that he held everybody accountable in his own unique way. That got everybody to be like, yeah, listen, guys, I have something on all of you guys. Just kind of relax. And I need immunity from everybody. And at one point, whoever took him out, allegedly, if they did take him out, eventually it's like, look, guys, this guy's going to be a pain in the ass for all of us. Let's just simplify it. And by the way, did you see what Trump said yesterday? Again about Ghislaine Maxwell. Did you see that, Rob?
Yep.
Just yesterday, Trump said he is seriously considering pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. He said that in a video interview, Rob. If you put it on X, you'll find it.
But I'm not giving advice to Trump, but it would seem to me that the only way you could even think about that is she's got to come up with the goods. She has to offer something. And then the question is, there's the Epstein list. Let's have the Epstein list. The Epstein list is in her head. She was close enough to know it. And why is she still alive? Because they're sure she won't talk about it, or she doesn't know it. I don't know the answer to that.
She did an interview with somebody. Rob, who did she sit down with? And
yeah, but she's doing nothing. But it was like one of those interviews that I'm glad I'm sitting down with you, but I'm not telling you anything.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. And I actually look at it a different way. I think it was a way for the DOJ to say, we conducted an interview and we got to the bottom of it and we found nothing. I think it's the other way around. And not the other, Todd Blanche is who it was that sat down with her and did the interview. Can you play that clip with Trump and Ghislaine? I think this is the one. Yeah, this is it.
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. But I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. Who are we talking about?
Is this recent, Rob, or is this an older one that happened?
This was 17 hours ago it was posted.
Okay, so this is a recent one. Yeah.
And her father, Robert Maxwell,
Massive guy.
who published my Mengele book, by the
Stop
way, in the
it.
80s, in England.
Really?
Yeah, hard to believe. He was the one who published it.
The Mengele book.
Yeah. He was still alive then. Then, he fell off the yacht, died, and all types of
Accidentally.
questions about
Yeah.
him with Mossad and everything
Yeah.
else. So, the intelligence groups. And look, intelligence groups like this type of stuff, which is an independent operator who's got contacts with everybody. But Epstein is a dream come true because he's not only an independent operator, but he's into enough kinky sex with the high profile. Once you start saying Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, the prime minister of Israel, the prince in line for the throne in England, you're getting the attention of a lot of spy chiefs all around the globe.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest there.
Hi, I'm Gerald Posner. I'm an investigative reporter. I've written 13 books about everything from chasing Nazi war criminals to the heroin trade to 9/11 to Saudis to fundamentalists and to the drug industry and to money inside the Vatican. You can ask me just about everything on my next. Reach out to me and talk to me about 9/11. Find out what's happening in terms of the Epstein files. If you want to find out what's happened in the recent Trump assassination attempt by crooks, I'm looking into that as well. I've got a whole series of things, including the transgender industry on children, that are on my hot list. So send me some questions.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.